Welcome to Sportsbet TV with me, Paul Alster. I'm back with another look ahead to the weekend racing, this time for Saturday, the 22nd of February. I've got two selections for you, free selections here at Sportsbet on this bulletin. So if you're new to the service, make sure you press the subscribe button just below this screen and you'll get all my free bets flagged up to you every time I post them. I'm always looking for value in my selections, almost always good each way prices. But last Saturday, Roaring Conquest failed to take advantage of a reduced field where he found the much quicker ground than forecast, too quick for him. And even though he stayed on again, having got outpaced after 3 out to finish third, it wasn't good enough. So I'm afraid Roaring Conquest, even though he finished third, because of the reduced number of runners, the each way bet, unless you're with a particularly generous bookmaker, is there such a thing? Um, was not quite hitting the target there. And also last weekend on my bulletin, I've got an apology to make to Sean Bowen, currently leading the Jockeys Championship, for last week confusing him. What a thing to do with his brother James. James hadn't ridden the best of races, in my humble opinion, on Roaring Conquest the time before. And on the horse that I'd fancied actually the previous weekend, not Roaring Conquest. He'd not ridden the best of races, James. And so I got him confused with Sean, as I'm getting confused again between these two brothers. And I meant absolutely no slight to Sean Bowen. He is a terrifically talented and incredibly strong and determined jockey. James, I hope that he rides a little bit more positively next time without overdoing it on the horse that I selected 2 weeks ago. Right family, wrong brother. Sorry about that. Well, there's a lot of good racing on Saturday. As well as the two selections I have for you here, I've posted 5 selections over at my subscription service at Out in Front, where there are some of them are very nice prices indeed. If you're interested to sign up and join us, then the description box below this screen has a link that you can press on and join us there. And if you don't want to sign up for the month, then you can go day by day and you're able to just pay to view the selections for the one day. It's much better value for the month, but it's your choice. You're in the chair. Right, 2 selections for Saturday. I'm going to take you first to Fairyhouse, actually. Even though there's lots of very good racing in Britain, Fairyhouse, the 2:15, is a cracking handicap hurdle. The 2.5 mile Tommy Carberry handicap hurdle on soft ground, 16 runners, named after one of the great jump jockeys of the 1970s and early 80s, Tommy Carberry. Well, there's no need to explain what a tough week this has been for racing. And this must have been very tough for Barry O'Connell, amongst others, and for all in Irish racing in particular. But his horses are running well, and his Slane Hill, an easy winner at Navan in November under the late Michael O'Sullivan, whose loss is such an immense tragedy for the sport, ran very well at Leopardstown's Christmas fixture, Slane Hill, finishing a close fifth of 20 off his revised mark in a listed handicap hurdle. He's had 8 weeks off since then, and he should be fresh for this challenge, and there's every chance that Slane Hill will go close for Barry Connell. Barry Lyndon, a horse called Barry Lyndon, trained by Dermot McLaughlin, has finished 6th in big fields on both recent outings in good company, so another decent effort seems likely. He didn't get the best of runs last time at Navan, so might have finished closer with a clear passage, and the addition of first-time cheek pieces could also be of additional benefit. Finishing almost upsides Barry Lyndon at Navan was Shadow Rider, who's trained by Padraig Roach. He was doing his best work at the finish that day, and significantly, he won this very race 12 months ago and may well have been laid out for a repeat bid, so comes right into the reckoning with his decent conditional claimer, claiming £7 once again in the colours of owner JP McManus. Now, on the pick of his form, Sporting Glory, trained by Gordon Elliott, would be a definite player. He pulled up soon after halfway at Leopardstown earlier in the month in the Grade 1 novice hurdle after making a terrible blunder that cost him any chance. This, however, is a different level, and if he puts in a clear round, he could be a danger to all Sporting Glory and is somewhat feared on his handicap debut of 130. His stable companion, Prong Garde à Toi, Also drops in grade, but to be honest, he's less appealing to me. This is a different challenge for the listed chase winner Dancing Jeremy, but it might not be far away, while Thornley Frank, trained by Mark Fahey, completed a hat-trick when last seen. Problem is, that was 19 months ago, and it would be some training performance to have him ready to win this after such a long absence. My selection here is Glen Kiln, trained by Michael Bow and the mount of Brian Hayes. You may or may not know Michael Bow, but the family have been training good racehorses for decades, including in their own ownership the likes of Limestone Lad and, of course, the great mare Solarina. And Glen Kiln, I think, has got a chance here. He appeared to find 3 miles too far for him on his first attempt at that distance last time out at Leopardstown in a really hot handicap hurdle at the Dublin Festival. He travelled well throughout that race, moved through to lead 2 out, only to run out of gas approaching the final flight. His eighth of 25 was no disgrace stepping up in class, but it might have been a different story had his stamina not been stretched seemingly beyond the limit. On his previous start, he created a really fine impression when he stormed clear over 2.5 miles at Navan. So now back at that trip, Glen Kiln is fancied to go really well at the best price, 7 to 1 each way for 5 places, offered at the time of this recording by Bet365. Glen Kiln is my choice each way at Fairyhouse in the 2:15. My second selection is in the big betting race of the day at Kempton, the 3:35, the old Racing Post Trophy. This year it's the Ladbrokes Trophy Handicap Chase. Now, the original gown description is of good to soft in places, but having seen rain at Exeter this afternoon and also further up at Warwick, there's every chance that rain will have hit Kempton as well, so the ground may well ease. Hopefully, it won't ease too much, and Kempton is a track that often dries out fairly quickly. There's also a bit of sunshine forecast, or at least there was when I looked at the forecast for tomorrow. Our Power is trained by Sam Thomas. It won this race in 2023 and returns for another crack in a race which the trainer has also sent out, placed horses in both 2022 and last year as well. The 10-year-old Our Power has run very well in finishing runner-up in 2 good races already this term, and back at this track on his preferred decent ground, he has to be on the shortlist with Dylan Johnston. Great value for his £3 claim. Sam Thomas also runs Catate Dory, only a 7-year-old who's climbing the ranks, but I think may find the tougher competition and quicker ground a tricky combination to overcome. The early favourite is Highland, trained by Nicky Henderson, a useful chaser this. He's won 3 of his previous 4 outings over the largest obstacles prior to his latest excellent second to the high-class The Jukebox Man over the course and distance in the Grade 1 Cato Star Novice Chase at Kempton on Boxing Day. Now, he remains on a mark of 147 and he's got a hefty 11 stone 13 to defy, but it's no surprise that he was installed early, the clear 7-2 favourite for an inform yard. Now, on the face of it, Highland, to me, has achieved more this season than Lowry's Bar, who's trained by Philip Hobbs and Johnson White. But Lowry's Bar has been handed top weight of 12 stone, which is going to be tough to overcome. He won 2 of his first 3 chase starts since switching from hurdles at the start of this campaign, and he ran well when second to the talented Jinko Blue in a Grade 2 novice chase at Windsor last time. He might have given the winner plenty to think about, but for making a bad blunder 3 out. But any jumping frailties on Saturday will be exposed here in this high-quality event and his first handicap chase of his career. John Joe and AJ O'Neill's Beachcomber was visually very impressive when he romped home over the course and distance at the Christmas meeting, and he really revelled on the decent ground that day. He's gone up £9 for that win and has tackled better horses here, but he's going the right way and he should be in the mix. Third in that race at Christmas, behind Beachcomber, was Paul Nichols's Golden Sun, a winner of the 2.5-mile handicap chase at this very meeting 12 months ago, but who had struggled in 3 starts since then. But he did stay on with a good effort to be beaten just over 10 lengths by Beachcomber last time, hinting at a return to form, and he is now £9 better off with the winner, so should feasibly get much closer to his old rival this time. My selection? Well, if he was trained by someone better known to the general racing public, I've little doubt that Charlie Uberalis, trained by Diane Sayre and the mount of Danny McMenamin, would be a single figure price on the back of his last time out battling victory over Doc Picked Me in a hot 3 mile handicap chase at Doncaster in December. Despite being £3 out of the handicap that day, he stuck to his task bravely. He jumped really well and eventually prevailed by a neck from a horse who subsequently went on to win the prestigious Great Yorkshire Chase back at Townmore last month in fine style, franking the form. Now raised £7, but effectively only £4 higher than his win at Doncaster because of the £3 overweight he carried. Charlie Uberalis has to have decent ground to produce his best, so connections will really be hoping there's no significant rainfall at Kempton between now and Saturday afternoon. Given luck in running and getting plenty of weight from the market principles, I think he should go really well. And the 14 to 1 each way for four places with many firms, he was 16 to 1 in some places early on, is just too tempting. So it's Charlie Uberalis for me at 14 to 1 each way. And let's hope the ground is no worse at Kempton than good to soft. So, two selections for you there for Saturday here at Sportsbet. Remember, there are five more on offer over and out in front, and you can check them out by clicking on the link in the description box below this screen. But that's it for this weekend's bulletin. The countdown to Cheltenham Festival is well and truly on. There's a lot to look forward to in the coming weeks, but I'll look forward to seeing you same time next week. Bye bye for now.